network security. Just a brief intro. No technical things today, just the theoretical part. So, can I share the slides?
Yes, you're sharing them currently. You're just not at full screen.
Okay.
You've stopped sharing.
Oh, in a minute.
Okay.
So I hope they are visible now.
Yes, it's okay. You can just continue.
So network security is a field in cybersecurity. Basically, but it's about protecting our network from data breaches, intrusions, and other threats. This describes hardware and software solutions as well. I really don't want to talk too much, but basically it's about protecting our networks from any attackers from accessing our data or modifying it, using it in the way we wouldn't want. So I'm gonna jump into types of network attacks. One common one is man in the middle attack. It's where for a network to be complete, we have to have an end user, the host. So among the middle sits in the middle of the network and just listens to maybe any traffic that's passing by through the network. We have other types of network attacks like phishing. It's almost similar to phishing, just that it's aimed at voice over IP, that is voice over internet protocols. And there's also e.g. there's ransomware, which threatens to publish or block access to data of a computer system by encrypting it until the victim pays a attacker. There's spoofing, there's password-based attacks. They are mostly at weak encryptions of traffic, and mostly an attacker would choose a passive attack to lay ground for a future big, the active attack where they'll try to hack into the system and aggressively try to take data either through worms, Trojan horses, or viruses. Other ones are denial of services and distributed denial of services. A good example was last year, the Amazon Web Services, they were hacked, and I think it was the application layer, and there were some services didn't work for them. Then there are application layer attacks, insider attacks. That's where someone in the organization is part of the is in the compromises the security of the organization. Am I going too fast? Or is it just fine? So, okay. So there are some network protection techniques. There is access control. Thanks for it. Access control is where we prevent threat actors from accessing our networks. Anyone who can't access our network, at least we limit the amount of damage that they might cause to our networks. Installing firewalls, I consider them as gates that allow only authorized devices to access the networks, and they also act as borders between our intranets and the wide internet. It's important to ensure that our wireless networks are also secure and very well encrypted, like WPA encrypted, and not just WP. There's network segmentation. This is where we partition our to only grant access to the right traffic and restrict access to any malicious or suspicious traffic. We also have anti-malware software. We also have intrusion detection system, that is the IDS, and the intrusion prevention system, that is the IPS. Email security, that we educate members of our organizations to avoid clicking just any links that bring maybe compromised emails, and also application security. So for someone who wants to venture into network security, there's some best practices that they should try to consider. One of them is understanding the OSI model. For those of you who've done networking, there is OSI model, that is the Open Systems Intercommunication model, that is really important when it comes to building strong networks, troubleshooting problems, and developing effective applications. And understanding types of network devices, starting from bottom going up, from switches to routers, there's bridges. Also knowing network defenses and how they work, for firewalls, for IDSs, for IPSs, for network access control, web filters that are put in place to allow people to restrict people rather from visiting malicious sites, proxy servers and how they work, anti-denial of distribution of services, ETC. Yeah, there's a lot of things. Not disabling our firewalls, using network address translation, placing our security devices correctly, e.g. firewalls at every junction of a network zone. It's really important knowing network topology so that we know where to best place our security devices, Yeah, protecting our networks from insider threats. Okay, so there are some tools that are really important when it comes to being an effective network security practitioner. We have Wireshark. It's important in capturing network traffic in real time and also to troubleshoot within the network, e.g. dropped packets. It really gives us a human readable form of traffic going through the network. There's the intermapper, and there's the SolarWinds network performance monitor. Yeah. And finally, there is really a huge importance in having basic knowledge of networking, because you'll know the topology, you might know how to configure routers, and that would be a real push, a huge advantage, an added advantage to anyone with a basic networking knowledge. Thank you. I think I'm done.
Okay. Hi, Olive. I don't know. I can't hear anything from my end. I don't know if you're still speaking or if you're still presenting.
Oh, what about now?
Okay, yeah. Now I can hear you.
Oh, yeah, I was saying that I think that's all I had.
Okay. Well, unless we have questions.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, if you have any question, you can just unmute and ask if you're in a position to, or you can maybe have that in the chat box. It doesn't have to be necessarily what she has presented, but yeah. Okay, so there's a question in the chat box. Olive, okay, someone asked, so network security all compromises of attacks and such. Is there anything else? I don't know if I read that correctly, but yeah, maybe you can look into that. Olive?
Yeah. Okay. It's not necessarily all about attacks. It's just that I summarized. Yeah, it's vast. It's not all about attacks. There are other things. Have I answered your question?
Hi.
Hi.
Yes, you can hear me, right?
Yes.
Wonderful. So my question is, when it comes to network security, will you categorize it as a part of forensics or what? Hope you heard my question.
Hi. We had your question.
Oh, okay, wonderful. Wonderful.
Yes.
Okay, sorry, I just want to ask, like, because like I can't hear anything. I don't know if you're still on the other side.
Well, on the other side, I'm just not sure if the guest heard your question.
Oh, okay.
Hello?
She's there, right?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Sorry, I just want to ask, like,
Hey, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you, but the audio in your back is repeating itself.
Oh,
I was wondering myself what's going on.
It's Jacqueline, are you there?
yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, if Kharim could just repeat his question, he'd like you to answer it.
Okay, so I just asked, like, is network security part of digital forensics?
I think I'm not really sure about that. I'm just really a beginner, but
Oh,
I
okay.
think there's some bit of yeah.
Oh, wonderful.
Okay, maybe Olive, if you don't mind, I can take that up. Okay, Kharim, you asked. Okay, actually, allow me to highlight that Kharim was our presenter last week. So thank you so much for joining us once again. And well, from what you've asked, I would say not necessarily, but we do have network forensics, which is a sub branch of digital forensics, which basically deals with monitoring and maybe analysis of network traffic. So I don't know
Yeah.
if I answered that right, but
Yes, you're
well,
right.
okay.
Yeah. Oh, okay, then thank you. I don't think I have any other question, but I could just say that the presenter today has presented very nicely, and she really tried. And since she says she's a beginner, well, just keep up the good job.
Thank you.
You're most welcome.
Okay, so I don't know if you have any other question. It doesn't have necessarily be tied to what the presenter had. I'm happy to take up more questions on network security. Okay, maybe I would highlight something. There's a platform. Okay, maybe I'll share the link on the chat. They had a free course on network security, a really good one. Okay, and I can share with you. Maybe you can enroll for that. Network security is an area you don't focus on in cybersecurity. And well, as I said, I think Olive also mentioned that cybersecurity is quite vast. We have quite a number of different domains you can look into, which are, I think the presenter last week also mentioned, we have the technical and the non-technical bits to focus on in cybersecurity. So yeah, unless there are questions, and I'm happy to note that Jackie is here with us. Thank you for making time to join us. So maybe I'll give another 2 or 3 minutes for questions if there are any, and then we can maybe, yeah, at the end of the session. Oh, also, don't worry that the presentation was a bit short. Next week, we're going to have the practical bits of network security. So yeah, maybe if you have more technical oriented questions, we can get to cover that next week so that you can get to do that practically. If not that, if there are any questions, 2 or 3 minutes you can ask. I'll be happy to answer, or Olive can answer. Yeah. So yeah. So Olive, I hope you're still on call. Someone
Yeah.
mentioned qua chat that if you could go a bit slower with the last 3 slides. So maybe you would do maybe a brush off for that one, kindly.
So I have a question though.
Okay.
Okay. So I think this one should be answered by you, Nancy, maybe. I'm not sure. So when it comes to network security, but I mean just the terminology itself, I usually tend to confuse two things. When we talk about network security, basically it means like analyzing the networks, looking for any suspicious communications or DOSs, etc., etc. Now, what do you call the other type of hacking where you scan for ports, get, let's say, a service, let's say SMTP on a particular target, and you manage to exploit it and get your access into the organization's, let's say, mail web server example. Where will you categorize that? Is it still under network security or what? Because I usually tend to confuse these things. Because yes, I know network security, basically it's more of the aspect of what is called Wiresharks, playing with the network packets, etc., etc. But where would you categorize the type of attacking that I just mentioned? Will it still fall under network security or what?
Yes, I would say that still falls under network security.
Okay.
Because I would say network security is not really tied to, like you've said, we also
Packet analysis.
for that we also look into access control, right? We can look into maybe VPN encryption, firewalls, endpoint, web, wireless. So I think it's quite vast. I wouldn't necessarily.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wonderful. Thank you for the clarity.
Okay, thank you for asking.
I'm a script kiddie, that's why I'm still asking.
Okay.
I'm still trying to get into the industry and learn from you guys, the experts.
Okay.
But anyway, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you also for asking. Well, okay, yeah, the free network security course. Okay, let me get that link for you guys. Ruth said, yes, I think network security is part of forensics because since it involves monitoring and analysis of network traffic. Thank you so much, Ruth, for that highlight. Okay, I don't think we have any other question. Then, okay, let me just share the link. I know. Okay, let me share the link to the course and then, yeah, just a minute.
Hello. Excuse, I had another question.
Hey,
I don't know if I
hi.
can still ask it.
Yes.
Yeah, you talked about phishing,
Yeah,
apparently
sure.
phishing over IP protocols. Now, could you expand on that so that I can understand it better?
Okay, I think I'll leave this one for the speaker. Olive, maybe you can take up that one. Maybe you can explain that in detail.
Can I help on that?
Yes, please.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. So when it comes to phishing, so phishing is basically phishing, but the difference is in phishing, all you use is voice elicitation, right? So basically what you do is you make a phone call, but before making a phone call to X organization that you're trying to hack, you'll basically spoof your IP to make it look like it's coming from internally from the organization. That's one way. Or the second way, it depends with your target. It's either you could spoof or not. So I don't know which one should I use as an example. So one phishing technique that I had seen was on YouTube on DEF CON. So what they were demonstrating was, for example, when you call a customer service, and what you do is you try to make the person behind the customer service to give you information that they wouldn't give you in normal circumstance. So that's basically phishing, because the main element there is the voice aspect of it, where you call the organization and or let me put it, your target, and try to gather as much information as you can from them. So it could be trying to get them to click on links that probably you had sent on their mailbox, or you could try and get the agent from the other side to give you information like usernames, passwords, and there is where the aspect of social engineering comes in. So they all go together. So phishing, social engineering, phishing, they all go together. You can't use one without the other. So I don't know if that makes sense up to there.
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. But basically, as I said, it's just the art of using your voice in order to make the other individual give information that they wouldn't give you in normal circumstances. And as I said, that's where the element of social engineering comes in. So yeah, that's basically phishing.
Thank you, Kharim, for answering that. So if you don't have any other questions, maybe you can come to the end of the session. And you can join us next week for the practical bit. The theoretical bit was a bit short, but the technical bit will be quite expansive. So join us next week on Tuesday, and you can also join us on Thursday for another session. Okay, guys. Okay, good night. Bye.
Good night. Thank you. Bye.
Good night.
Thank you.